Hello everyone. I apologize. I really hate it when I'm late showing up for these things. And today we had a couple of last minute, no, probably not hard to believe that we had technical problems, but that's part of the joy of what we're doing here together. Hey, so today, this is our first week of doing kind of a new schedule. I talked last week about how we were going to go to a system where we'll have two events, virtual events during the week. The first will be our town halls. On you wouldn't believe this, but there's somebody back of me right outside the door of my lobby. Um, but hopefully you can hear it. But the first one will be a town hall, which will give us a chance to talk about some of the basics. And I'm going to be doing that today. And then Thursdays, we're going to be moving our Unity Forum into the Thursday slot at 3 o'clock. So that will give us a chance to continue to have contact with our constituency and our families and staff and our clients and all of that. But today we're going to talk a little bit about as we think more and more about the reopening of our programs and about life, hopefully getting back to some normal patterns and rhythms. I thought I would use the chance to call my mother. She's expecting the call, but she doesn't know why. She's just secretly, she's a little bit of a ham. She loves it whenever I invite her to show up for this. First, before I do that, I'm going to try to, let's see, share my screen. I'm going to go into slideshow mode. So as most of you know, my mother's been living in Benchmark City, living in Woburn since last March. And she is, the last time I physically laid eyes on, stop sharing.
You're good, D.
I'm good?
Oh, you
The
were.
last time I actually saw my mom, I was through the glass door of her lobby, and then I haven't seen her again now for another, gosh, I don't know, 5 weeks or 6 weeks, maybe it's been that they haven't even been let out of their rooms. But as of last week, they were starting to introduce this visitation policy. I had a scheduled time on Sunday at 3:30, but since I found out families were only allowed one visit a week, I let my brother and my nephew have the slot because I thought my mom would be happy to see her grandkids. So I haven't had a chance to get in to see her yet. And of course, I'm pretty sure that she's going to think that, that's what she's been looking forward to. Maybe we'll find out. So I'm going to call her and see if she answers the phone. And hopefully you guys will be able to hear this. But she's been somebody that, as you know, has been very important to me during this time. And I'll lean forward a little bit here and see if she answers. Please pick up.
Hello?
Hey, Mom.
Hi.
Hey, you're live. We're live, and you're talking to a group of close to 100 of our friends of NuPath.
Good.
You like talking to a lot of people, huh?
Yes, I do, especially when I'm in my chair.
In your chair, stuck in your room.
Yeah.
Hey, so guess what? I got an appointment to come and visit with you
Good.
tomorrow at 10. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Good. That's wonderful.
You had a chance to visit with David and Lucas on Sunday.
Yes. And Lucas has got his hair so long because he can't get to a barber. And I have my hair so long, so we're together on that.
You both have twins. You have long hair, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe he likes the long hair and he just uses COVID as an excuse to have long hair. Do you think?
Well, he doesn't want to get it cut.
That's what I thought, huh? If Dad were here.
It's like Nicholas is there.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about anybody else. What? But if Dad were here, he'd probably say that he was a hippie.
Yeah. Well, Dad was just say I was a hippie.
Yeah.
He'd say I was a hippie.
Yeah, well, but yeah. But anyway, we'll get your hair probably taken care of. But so I know that you had a good visit, but you probably you couldn't wait until I got scheduled to come visit you, right? I mean, that's what you're.
That's what I'm really looking forward to.
I can't believe how much time has gone by that I haven't seen you. We're all looking at a picture of you. The last time I laid eyes on you was when you were down in the lobby, and
I know. I know that.
it's been tough. It's been a tough few weeks, hasn't it, that we've been doing this?
Oh, this room is a mess.
Yeah. So you need me for something. So I've got some purpose.
I know. I
Hey,
need you for
you know,
something.
last week I shared with the folks that are part of NuPath just about how on the table downstairs there was all these different signs that showed, you know, how they put the obituary up of people that have passed, and there were 5 or 6 on the table all at once. Like I couldn't believe it. And we were talking last night, and I told you that I found out one of our friends, Kimmy, passed away, and you just found that out, didn't you?
I know. I don't know who those people are because I knew some people over in the Harbor House
Yeah.
area.
And the memory
And
care.
I think that's where some of them have died.
So you had quite a few people there that have passed, haven't you, Mom?
Yeah.
And when we talked about Kimmy passing away, that was a shock to you because we knew her. We'd see her all the time, wouldn't we?
Yes. She was in the hospital for a while, I think. I don't know what she had wrong with her.
Well, I'm looking at the statistic. It shows 116,000 people now dead in the United States. And does that number seem like a lot to you?
Yes, it does.
Especially since you've had a lot of people from your place, you know, that have died. Um, I'm looking at another report here that shows that the number of cases are going down each day in Massachusetts, but we're up to 7,647 people dead in Massachusetts that have died of COVID.
But it's encouraging to see the numbers go down.
You know what you said to me yesterday, that the only way you're really going to know who's died from there of your friends is when you finally all get down there to the cafeteria, to the dining room again, and you start to
I
see.
know.
It's tough, isn't it? And you know what? I'm looking at another figure here, not to scare you, but by age group, you know, you're at 80 plus. I don't want to tell people how old you are, but you know, you're in your 80s, let's say. And by age group, you've had, of those 7,000 and some odd deaths, 5,000 of them have been in the 80 plus age group.
I know. It's scary.
But you've had 2 tests now, right? That have been.
Yeah. I just thought that maybe I'd get another test today or tomorrow.
Do you think you're gonna make it through without getting it?
I hope so.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Because I'm having trouble breathing already.
I know.
And they say that that's one of the things that causes you lots of trouble.
Mm-hmm. And now you're talking about, you know, you said to me yesterday that you almost felt funny leaving your room. You almost got conditioned into feeling like that's where you're safe, is to be.
I know.
So you wonder if people are gonna be afraid to start going back out for appointments and other things, or just they want to stay put. We don't know what's gonna happen this fall, do we?
No, we sure don't. And when I was thinking about people buying up the toilet paper and how crazy that was, at the time I thought, how crazy that is. But look at how long it's gone now.
Yeah. Well, it is a little easy. It was crazy anyway, that toilet paper business, because you know now we could get it pretty easily, but at the time it was tricky. I remember if you wanted rolls of toilet paper, and I told you couldn't have it because it was too hard to put. No, I never told you that. I'm just kidding around. But yeah, but it was tough there for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure
What
was.
have you done to like stay sane and not lose your mind through all of this? Is there any like special techniques before I let you go?
Well, just watching TV. TV has become a real friend to me.
Which is funny because in all your life you've never watched TV. Dad was a TV
No,
watcher.
I never watched TV much.
But now you watch it all the time. Yeah.
Now there is nothing else to do
Yeah.
but sit here and watch TV, and they give us puzzles to do,
Yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
but I can't do those.
Yeah. But you were able to go down and play the piano the other day, right?
Yes,
So that was
and
good.
I'll go down again.
Good. Well, I can't wait to see you. Do you want me to bring you anything at 10 when I come over?
Oh, I don't know. I'm all out of this preservation.
Okay, well, I'll talk about that. We can talk about that later.
Preservation, but the other.
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk about that. Maybe put a list together, but okay, that's what we'll do then. Well, I'm sure everybody out there, NuPath Land, thanks you for just taking a moment to check in. I know people ask about how you're doing, and they had wanted to know whether or not I'd been able to. Some people had asked whether or not I'd been able to get in to visit you, but I haven't yet. But that's going to change tomorrow
That's a strange visit, though,
because you're some.
because it's not really satisfying. Because I can look at you, but I can't touch you.
Yeah, they have.
I can't hug you.
Yeah. Well, they have all these strict rules that are being enforced. So, they said they were going to have these table monitors, and it's going to be all outside and so on. But I think that's going to change. And we've got family members that just were able to start seeing their kids after all these weeks. Can you imagine what that's like for them? And
Yes.
well, of course, you know what it's like. You know exactly from the other side of things. Not being able to see people you love. But we'll get it back little by little. I think that's what we're hoping to do, and do it.
It's going in the right direction anyway.
It's going in the right direction. There's a lot to be done there when I finally get up to your room, huh?
Oh my goodness.
Well,
It's a mess.
well, at least you appreciate me for something now, right?
And I look at the pictures of your flowers,
Yeah,
and I know that you got another gift.
I do.
To take a dead thing and make it come to life.
Oh, another gift. I thought you said guest. Oh, take a dead thing and make it come to life. Yeah, I've been known to, work some magic with plants. But well, Mom, I can't wait to see you. I'm embarrassed to just say how much I'm looking forward to it. So
I'm looking forward to it too.
yeah. So
I'll be there with bells on.
yeah, I'm gonna come in some sort of a costume, and I'll probably be singing loud songs when I come entering. Big grand, entry is what I was planning for you.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Okay, I love you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye. Well, that was somewhat satisfying. Thank you guys for sharing that. I just will see what else I had left here on the PowerPoint before I flip back over. Of course, we always try to end with remembering the heroes that worked in our care center, and so we continue to recognize the work that they did. Now that care center. Sorry guys, I'm trying to flip back over. Did I get it, Greg? Oh, did I?
No, I got it though. I'll just,
See, I always do this without. Oh, now I got to share my webcam. I turned off my cam. Yeah, clearly this is not something I've mastered. I don't mind saying. But so the other thing I was going to mention, as this relates to our families, I just kind of, I guess you'd say, kind of checked around a little bit. Am I showing now, Greg? Because I don't see myself.
yeah, we see your webcam. We don't see your screen.
Oh, we don't see. Yeah. So but you can see me. I don't know where I'm not seeing myself here, but I guess I don't need to. Anyway, so in thinking about how families have responded to this, I know families were getting very, I guess you say restless, and with rightly so. I feel the same way about getting to see my mom. but from reports, anecdotally, really, but that almost about every one of our family members have either scheduled a visit or have had a visit, and they're really taking advantage of it. And it made me so happy. I just, um, yeah, I just always love it when I hear about positive family dynamics, and there's nothing more positive and um, more what am I trying to say? Edifying. Just it makes me very happy when I see strong family, children bonds, especially in our programs. And so good for you guys that have scheduled those visits. I'm sure it's meant very much to all of your kids. We're continuing to still having to make all numbers of kind of decisions about various uh, questions that have been posed to us. And just again urging our families to remain patient as we continue to gradually and carefully expand uh, and open up avenues for folks. So much of this is predicated on the key elements on the dashboard, the Commonwealth's dashboard, to continue to go in the right direction towards green, away from red and yellow. And so much of that has to do with the positive test rate, the number of new cases per day, number of deaths, number of hospitalizations, all those things we've talked about before. So we really are working in concert with other state agencies and within the industry to carefully and thoughtfully continue opening up our programs in a way that's not going to expose people to any additional risk. Um, Part of my problem before coming on to this town hall was that I was trying to print up an agenda that I had, and I've got a sort of a paper jam in my printer, which if I had been not printed it up 2 minutes before the event, I could have figured that out, but I don't have it in front of me, so I'm going to try to remember what I want to say. There's always going to be feedback from folks, whether that be from staff or families, about things that we do or the level or the pace of our communication. I had an email from a family member yesterday, and I'll be honest, when I was reading it, at first I felt a little annoyed because this family member talked about how she felt that the communication was very poor from NuPath, and that and she was complaining that she didn't know about the town halls and the other unity forums, and apparently a number of weeks had gone by before she was told, and complaining that there's not much communication from the higher ups, I think is how she put it. And guys, I feel like I've well, I guess there's always ways I can improve. I'm not saying that I can't improve, but you are getting about as much direct access to what's going on in my head, and knowing where we are together in this thing as any organization I can imagine in Massachusetts, certainly, and maybe even the country. I know of very few organizations that are doing this kind of that made this commitment to ongoing and regular dialogue with our constituency. And that doesn't mean that we are getting things right. It doesn't mean that people are going to always like what they hear, but it does mean that we've committed to creating these regularly occurring opportunities for people to kind of know what's happening, and not be surprised by things. Everybody always wants something that they don't have, so it's I think this person asked whether or not there could be a letter that went out to people. I don't know if she said weekly or on some regular basis, and maybe there is a genuine need for some sort of a written format as well, but every time that we pile on another thing from a way of communication, it just adds to the laundry list that somebody's got to get done during the course of the week, and we're still feeling like not everybody really takes advantage of the many opportunities that are currently in existence for folks. So we'll continue to look at our communication strategy. I think that we chose the we chose the path forward that we've taken because we're able to alert people through our texting alerts. And this is something that almost everybody associated directly with NuPath gets the text alerts because of their weather, because that's how we announce our inclement weather and program delays and closures and so forth in the winter months. So we thought that was probably the best way to reach the maximum number of people, and most people had opted in for those text messages, so that's why we chose that. But to this person, this parent also said that I always say that you're free to reach out to me, but that I never tell people how they can go about doing that. And if you're somebody that's trying to reach me on my my desk phone in the office, that's a very not a great plan because I'm not in the office, and even when I have been, I've been using that landline less and less. So I'm gonna give the number now in case somebody doesn't have it for my cell phone. You ready? 781-727-0674 is my cell phone number, and I know that, and I trust that people will use it, in events when you really feel that you've exhausted other avenues for recourse or in order to try to achieve um, some resolution to a problem that you might have. We've heard it said many times over that we're kind of all in this together. It's been kind of a rallying cry and a way to kind of inspire people to kind of understand that this is we're going to be successful as we social distance together. That as we honor the very best guidance that we've been receiving about wearing facial masks and social distancing and all the rest, that we're all in this together. And Dan Lannon told me earlier, he says, well, I don't know, maybe some of that unity has kind of begun to fade a little bit, and I think he's been starting to get a little bit more kind of pushback from certain locations or certain families and people that are not been happy with the decisions that we made or how we're pursuing this thing, and clearly everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But I need you to know that we're doing the best we can, and that fundamentally we are still being driven first and foremost by ensuring that the health and the safety of the clients that are in our care, that we serve, and the staff that work with them, and that will remain among our chief and most important priorities. So we'll be standing our ground when we need to. If there's particular things, I know there's been an increase in family members that have been asking to take people home, and I think there's some sort of support actions that have been kind of built up around that. And I'm not going to speak for Dan Lannon, but so much of this and our ability to respond to unique and individual family requests is based on our ability to replicate that in an equitable way for all family members. And there may come a point when some pre-agreed plan or ritual that had begun might have to be delayed or put off if it's no longer working. And if that happens, I just need families to understand that many of the decisions we make are done so with an eye to whether or not we can continue to manage these things consistently and in a way that's fair and equitable to everybody. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. There was another matter I was going to talk about, but we'll leave that for another time. So we are continuing, and back to 4 o'clock, I have a meeting with the Massachusetts Coordinating Council as we think about the plans to open our day services. I think I was a little blue on Thursday, feeling it felt a lot better on Friday after the great unity forum that we had. But we're still working with ADDP and DDS in trying to forecast what the FY21 budget's going to look like, and what that's going to do to our billing, and how we're going to be able to think about our program model. And when I say our program model, I'm talking about our day services that we are seeking to bring back into play. And how are we going to be able to introduce that at a pace that is going to make sense financially, and how are we going to continue to support the many additional expenses and costs that we have as we think about the new landscape in our day services that will require many more layers of sort of checks and observation and monitoring and cleaning, and how are we going to pay for the additional actions that are going to be necessary. And we've talked about it sort of peripherally, but I do believe that it's something that's going to have to be talked about more practically, and that is having to do with the frequency of our COVID testing, whether that's going to factor into our continued opening of services, whether or not we're able to reopen our transportation routes, and how many people can fit safely in a particular run. And there may be some other transitional steps that we have to commit to in order to get from point A to point B. So sometimes some of it might be that we're able to take your son or daughter back into the day program if they live at home with you, but we may not be able to get them into one of our centers, and so it may be that we are asking for some support from families. And I'm not saying that's what we're going to do, but we're putting everything out on the table, and we're looking at all options and possibilities as we try to think about the best way and the safest way to begin to bring people back into the programs. I think that is kind of the focus of where I wanted to leave you. We haven't had any new cases. Dan and Sharon are not joining us today. They had some other priorities, and so that works out fine. And we will see you on Thursday at 3 o'clock for a very interesting Unity forum that we're going to be that we'll be doing. And my intention is to kind of check into some experts that we know and that are part of NuPath to help us kind of understand what's happening in several different arenas, whether that's the state budget, whether that's the looking at the job market, the labor market, how some experts are thinking we're going to see a rebound in Massachusetts, and how long could we maybe be looking at some of this sort of temporary or phased incremental reopening steps as we move forward and try to reclaim some of the normal rhythms and behavior that we lost so many weeks ago. Greg, are there any questions or specific comments that you think I should touch on before we conclude today?
No, just a few people were asking if we had a projected date for the day programs, and also just a lot of positive feedback on the communication, and from a staff member reminding that these are all available on our YouTube channel after they air live the first time. So
that's right. And this mother that wrote to us, I just should say a shout out to our staff. I forget who she said somebody had called her as a regular check-in. You guys, I'm just so proud of the consistency that you continue to apply to so many of these, what in many ways probably seem like routine and maybe even boring sort of steps that we take, the wellness checks. But we continue to receive numerous feedback, and this is just one example of somebody that for whatever reason had not been tuned into some of the options that we were providing from a communication standpoint. So when you make those calls, there's really nothing that can replace that personal touch, and we thank you, and we thank staff for all they're doing. All right, well then, and I'm going to try to keep these to closer to 30 minutes because I need to, we need to keep things concise. People are busy. There's a lot going on. And if there's something further to mention, I want to just wish you all continued health and be smart. We're not relaxing anything here. We need to continue to wear our masks and observe social distance, wash our hands, and all the rest that's kept us well up until now. and we'll continue to do that because we got this. We will get through this together, and the war stories we're gonna have. So, all right, guys, see you on Thursday. Have a good rest of the week. Bye.